Bill de Blasio is the mayor of New York. He crushed in his elections, winning by giant margins. Captured the attention of a lot of the country. Conservatives ever since have been attacking him. Oh my God, we're going to have chaos and anarchy in the streets of New York again. How will New York exist if we can't beat up minorities, most of whom are totally innocent? I believe that there is a better way. That's what Bill de Blasio thinks, and the city of New York agrees with him. The media has been pounding him ever since. But here's an interesting twist. Bill de Blasio used to be Hillary Clinton's campaign manager back for when she was running for Senate in 2000. So now Hillary Clinton's running for president, so they keep asking Bill de Blasio, who's very progressive, about Hillary Clinton, who is not very progressive. Hey, how do you feel about that? Now, here's a recent appearance he had on TV.
I guess our question to you is Hillary one of those Democrats who's afraid to preach what progressives wanted to practice?
I'm optimistic about where she's going.
Where is she going?
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. I've seen some clear signals, some clear ideas come out of her conversations in Iowa. Certainly the speech on criminal justice reform the other day I thought was very powerful. What she said yesterday about immigration. I think she's beginning to fashion a progressive agenda.
She's beginning to fashion a progressive agenda, not a ringing endorsement. He's basically saying, I guess you're kind of on the road. The last couple of things you said were pretty good, and he's right. She's definitely tacking left at this point to try to head off any challengers, Bernie Sanders, de Blasio, whoever it might be. But he's basically saying you still got a long way to go, and he's right. But he's not waiting around for her, and that's why we like Bill de Blasio. He is going to launch, quote, the progressive agenda to combat income inequality. He's just going to do it on his own, okay? Even though he's the mayor of New York. He's going to go to Washington and announce it there. So basically, the liberal version of Contract with America, which Newt Gingrich did, where he said, these are our guiding principles, and he wound up gaining huge amount of seats for the Republicans back then when Bill Clinton was president. So I like that somebody's heading up this charge, and it's a perfectly good guy. So what do they want to do? They want a universal pre-K program. Okay, good. I like it. I think our education is, got bigger problems at the high school level and even at the college level. But I'll take a universal pre-K program. That's great. He wants a $15 minimum wage for everybody. That would make a huge difference in getting people who are working hard a living wage. And even Republicans always try to, say they're bums. Well, no, they're not bums. They're working, literally. You're not going to get the minimum wage unless you're working, right? The third part is paid family leave. So look, where everybody's worried about income inequality, he's like, look, part of the problem is that we're all, getting grinded out here. The husband's working, the wife is working, and we barely have time when we have kids to give birth and take care of the kid for a nanosecond before we got to head back to work. Let's do some realistic paid family leave, and that will help with income inequality because it's a way of balancing things out just a tiny bit. And then finally, increased tax on carried interest. Now, carried interest, the fact that it's taxed at, it sometimes is at 15, sometimes at 20 throughout the last dozen years or so, it's a crime. The highest tax rate is almost 40%. Carried interest is not even investment. It's when you're making income from investing other people's money. Okay? There's no reason in the world that income shouldn't be taxed at the highest rate, whatever bracket you happen to be in. Okay? But for those people who are just doing their job and getting income for that, just like you are, a cook is, a plumber is, anyone is, for them to be charged so much lower than the average person is unbelievable injustice. See, that's how they rigged the system. That's how we got the income inequality. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't inevitable. There's a lot of countries who don't have this kind of income inequality. Our country didn't have this kind of income inequality until recently. This is how they rigged the system. Not all rich people are bad. That's preposterous, right? Now, I know some libs say, oh, no, I'm against Bill Gates. I'm against everybody, right? No, I got no beef with Bill Gates. I got a beef with a guy who goes and hires lobbyists and says the banks should play by different rules. We should be allowed to dip into the Fed. We should be allowed to gamble with depositors' money. And for some of the private equity guys, some of the richest people in the world, to pay lower taxes, substantially lower taxes than the rest of us, than a dentist who happens to be in the same bracket. That's an unbelievable injustice, and he's looking to fix it, which is phenomenal. Now, look at this guy. The power of action is amazing. So he starts taking this action, and guess what? People start following him. So 60 people have signed on, very prominent names. I'll read you just some of them. Senator Jeff Merkley from Oregon, Representative Keith Ellison from Minnesota, Rahul Grijalva from Arizona, Rosa DeLauro from Connecticut, Marian Wright Edelman, Howard Dean, different national labor leaders, Susan Sarandon, Steve Buscemi, come all, okay? If you got a guy who's willing to lead, who's willing to be strong, it's amazing what happens. So in this case, he's leading the progressive charge and beginning to change the conversation. Let's talk about these things. Why has Obama and the Republicans agreed to basically a truce? I don't know that Obama really tried very hard at all to, for example, take away carried interest. But right now, he's not planning to do a damn thing about it. Why have they agreed to that? It is unbelievably wrong. Why don't we fight back against it?